I'm so lonely. I'm so lonely. I ain't got nobody with me. I'm so lonely. Not my words, but probably the words of Sonia from EastEnders, of EastEnders. She had nobody before this man came along. And we'll get into him. He's a bit controversial as lately. He might have killed
Yeah.
someone. Might have killed someone.
Piggy doesn't assume anything.
He might have.
I believe Ron may have fallen. As he's like fucking spinning on the ground.
He might have killed someone. I'm just doing the fucking Trump method. He might have done something wrong. We don't know. He's a great guy, lovely guy, done nothing wrong. But yeah, obviously we're talking about Sonia and Reese. So yeah, we're gonna. Are we misunderstanding Sonia basically? Because for years she's been a lonely mess. That might be the wrong term, but again,
I mean, it's not wrong.
To use my fucking, I'm trademarking it. My catchphrase, one of my catchphrases. She is bisexual when the schedule fits. Which is true.
I mean, I think when we think about it, Sonia's pretty much been alone since what, 2014, 2015? Like since her relationship with Tina died. There was the one with Bex's teacher that didn't really go anywhere. But like fundamentally, Sonia's only really surrounded herself by family. Which this is why this is such an interesting point, because we're all kind of, well, I say we're all, I've been doing this especially lately, where we're trying to figure out why is Sonia so in love with Reese? Because everything that we see about them, we don't really see them being happy. We don't really see them being a happy couple. We just kind of see them like, they are like that old married couple. And an old married couple is only really fun if you're old and married, like fucking, you only really get to that stage if you've been together for like 30 years. But the weird bit about Sonia and Reese is they've only been together for like a year and 9 months ish. He came at like December 2022, kind of. I believe that was when he arrived.
He arrived in 2022 December, the day of Dot's funeral. He showed up at Sonia's house. He played the brass, I think it's called.
French horn.
The French horn. I said Ronya. Who the fuck's Ronya? But Sonia, well, she was playing the trumpet. And then they stayed together.
All right, Scooby Doo.
Ronya. And basically, they stayed together. And then in March 2023, she threw him out because she found out he was married to Debbie, who we all assumed at the time, including us, was either his daughter or something else. And then he basically came back into her life. They looked after Debbie. And what we presume is they've had a happy, struggling, but happy life from what we have been given. But the screen time she's been given, I should say, has Sonia. And Reese has been struggling with money, lying to her. Like, the example is imagine me and Ash in a house together again, and I buttered the toast, and then I accidentally get butter on the fridge, and Ash walks over and he's like, Piggy, did you get butter on the fridge? No. Reese, are you stealing money? No. Not me.
It's like, just tell me the fucking truth, you bastard.
Did you get butter on the fridge? No. I love the comparisons. And yeah.
It's like, just will you tell me the fucking truth? But yeah, it's an interesting one though, because in the last couple years before, in like 2019, Martin and Sonia got back together for a little bit. When he was being bad boy, sexy, vigilante, daddy Martin. Probably just my words. They got back together for a little bit, then they were together for Bex, and then she was living with Bex and Dot, and you had that relationship. But yeah, she genuinely hasn't really been in a relationship for, like, since...
5 years.
I'm trying to figure out if there has been anybody else. It genuinely has been fucking years.
So if we're going off that, it would have been 3 years, technically, if we're including the start of Reese's relationship in 2022, early 23. So roughly 3 years at that time, 3-4 years, give or take. Honestly, I don't mind the Reese and Sonia dynamic. I know he's going to completely fuck her over, and when she gets out, he's giving him a quick swift up to the sack. She's fucking lining that bad boy up. She's shining it real nice. She's even, she's even doing that. She's gonna shine it up and then really just get up there, as tie up the hole as she can. That's just my fantasy playing now on screen. But yeah, we're obviously gonna see where this dynamic goes, and then obviously you're gonna have the entire square being like, "Could have listened to us, Sonia, stupid bitch." Yeah, thanks. But yeah, that's the whole dynamic basically, and this is what we're going to be discussing about in Reddit. On Reddit, I will read the description in a second. There's 20 comments, 62 upvotes, and we'll see how many comments we get through. See if they're positive, see if they're negative, see if everyone's just like, "Come on, Ashley, the trademark."
What's the trademark?
This is fucking shite, like.
I fucking hate Sonia. She's fucking shit. Worst character of all time.
Yep. And without further ado, let's start reading it. Just read the title again. I think everyone underestimates how lonely Sonia was before Reese came along. Yes, it's totally crazy how much she's going along with him, but do you remember how long it had been for her without a partner? She really changed over those years as a single person and became prematurely middle-aged lady. Obviously wasn't happy being single.
What a line. Fantastic.
And then Dad died, which was not easy for her. I can imagine how grief may have further clouded her mind. And because of her latch onto Reese, now she has the baby fever, which I think is the nail in the coffin for her ever viewing any of this rationality. I don't think it's a coincidence that Natalie Cassidy's playing Sonia so aggressively defensive whenever someone tries to talk sense into her. She's aggressively defending what she probably considers to be the only thing that has been good in her life for the past 5 years. I think it's all pretty believable when you look into the big picture.
Are you just gonna fucking watch me blow my nose? Keep
no, I was waiting for you to say something. I was like, is he going to say something? And yet none of these problems have been solved by getting together with Reese. She's even more frumpy and prematurely old for her time, shacked up to someone who's essentially mothering rather than being in a fair relationship with. Yes, it's clear to anyone in that this has not improved her situation at all, or it's clinging to her delusions. Is there anything wrong with being frumpy or old before your time? Not if you're happy, but there's no indication she was. Has Sonia ever expressed this? I mean, nobody wants to be described as frumpy, but she's always been a little too old before her time. And isn't really similarly in this regard what attached her to him in the first place? Keep quoting frumpy as if I said, and I've double checked, and I didn't use that word once. You disagree that she was unhappy while single, that's fine. It's from the first comment in this thread.
It's caused an argument, for fuck's sake.
It's from the first comment in this thread. Don't see why being unhappy while single means you have to be unhappy with your personality. If anything, Sonia seems quite steadfast and confident in this aspect of herself. Like I said, that it attracted her to Reese. Okay, I respect your opinion.
Fuck off. That's what that means.
Was talking about this the other day. She behaves and dresses way older than she is. Lads, there's nothing wrong dressing older than you look. I mean, look at me. I dress as fat Hawaiian man. I am a fat Hawaiian. I'm a fat Irish man, not a fat Hawaiian man. I go around wearing these t-shirts and shorts that make me look like I'm either what was it I said? I'm a trans man cosplaying during a midlife crisis, or a fucking lesbian who hasn't discovered herself yet. How would you describe your fashion sense? If you had to describe
it was much more interesting before I gained a bunch of weight, and I've never really bought the clothes to balance it out.
No. Is that what you're going for? That's the style you're going to stay. You're with.
But now I just dress like an NPC. Fuck off, man. Now I just dress like an NPC, really. I don't really stylize myself too much. Mostly just go for comfort these days.
Fair enough.
But obviously, if I had the money, I'd probably be a bit more edgy, be a bit more be a bit more like gothic type.
He
really.
comes on to the next podcast, like fucking Fringe in his island. Yeah, I listened to
Linkin Park.
I listened to Linkin Park. I'm edgy now. Look at me, guys.
Exactly.
I'm trying to think of Slipknot.
But I definitely I'd be wearing a lot more like horror merch. Except horror merch is fucking stupidly expensive for no reason.
It's just a franchise. Whenever you milk a franchise, you can.
Well, it's just more so like there's not really much of a site in the UK, and even if it is, it's like, and this one shirt is gonna be like 20 quid, and I'm like, yeah, I like it, but do I love it? No.
I mean, there's always Penny / Primark in the Halloween months. You know, yeah, but I will say, do not buy her Hawaiian shirt from Penny's. Because if you see me in most videos, they're fucking, like, we've obviously washed them, but they've obviously fucking shrunk. This is the only one that actually fits me now.
That sounds like some mad cope. Bloody hell, they've shrunk. Ah, wow. Bloody hell. Can't believe everything's shrinking on me. So you just bought that new... I must have shrunk in the wash. Bloody hell.
Okay. Nail on the head. She says much when she told off Mark and Lauren in the kitchen, criticising her decision to be with Reese. When she let him have it, she reminded them that they're not going to have life with other partners, more children, travelling, etc. She had to put her own life on hold to care for Dot. I have been very lonely for years with no real life of her own other than work. She's been single for years and years, so it does stand to reason that she's desperately trying to hold on to the only person that comes along and shows any interest in her. No matter how flawed he is, understatement. She's also desperate for a baby. I know she had Beck, but with the circumstances back then, she completely missed out on pregnancy past baby stages. So
yeah, I mean, it's the whole point that she didn't even know she was pregnant with Bex till she was given birth. Like, she didn't get to enjoy being pregnant whatsoever. She didn't have any fucking clue.
Baby stages, so she never really had the chance to do it properly. However, at nearly 40, her fertility is declining, and she knows she's on her last chance saloon here. If she chucks Reese, then that's it. No more dripping for her. That's why he's been so stubborn. She's been so stubborn, single-minded and tunnel-vision about him. Her desires are overtaking her logic and reason. She can't even seem to stand him herself half the time, sorry. So on some level, he knows he's a wrong'un. But yeah, she's been that lonely prior to meeting him that alternative seems worse. Hence why she's willfully ignoring every red flag no time. I have to add that her own behaviour has been pretty appalling and deeply insensitive recently, so she can't really complain at any judgment of her or be surprised when the investigators come knocking. There you go.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I think that's a really apt point about it, honestly. Like, I do think we are misunderstanding how lonely she has been. I do agree with this topic. I do agree in general. It's quite an impressive one, really. It's quite kind of wild to me. Is that you don't really think about how lonely Sonia's been for such a long time. And like, she's trying, like I said, I do agree. She is trying to live out her last, like, she wants to be a mother again. And even though Reese may not be like a fucking Prince Charming, sweep her off her feet, is absolutely flawed as fuck, she's not very lucky in relationships, is she? Like, this is the best offer she's had in years. And as much as he may be weird and fucking dodgy, she's the best she's got. He's the best she's got. Like, fucking, she wants a family, she wants kids. And at least no one else is gonna fucking steal them away from her. In a way, I respect it. I understand. I think I've been judging Sonia too harshly.
I think with that we leave it on a positive note and say, Sonia, you're allowed to be with Reese, but just remember he's conning you. He's conning everyone. And
he's murdered his wife.
Allegedly, not proven. Allegedly. We didn't see the death. We only seen the aftermath. It could have been anyone. Hashtag don't frame Reese. That's my new hashtag. Until this comes out, and then it's like, Oh, he's actually confessed to the murder. Oh. Well, bloody hell. Bloody timing, isn't that ironic? So yeah, see you in the next one. Bye bye.